happened to notice it because I was like, man, that woman looks so familiar. She came in with one of the food critics, and we could spot him.
Yeah.
And I was like, look at her credit card after, which is always the thing. And it's Kate Crater.
Oh.
And then she called us, like, I think a week or two later, and that was when we won Food and Wine Best New Chef, and we couldn't say anything, which was hard because the restaurant was still losing money, and we knew we had this big accolade.
Yeah. So you're like,
hold out? That was, 4 months in?
No, we won it a month and a half, and we announced it 4 months.
Yeah.
Which is crazy if you think about
it.
And so we're like, all right, well, so I told my wife, I told Tavel, and I think that's it. And then maybe like a month before it came out, we told our CDC too.
That was a big time for us, man.
Yeah.
That was a very, very special. That was the first time, not the first time, but that was the first of many where it was like, wow, we've done something right and someone recognize it. Because when you're in that space where every day we come in and we scrub our restaurant from floor to ceiling, polish every single thing, and the business is not there, you can feel defeated at times. And we all questioned ourselves and our motive and what we were doing. At some point throughout that process, we all questioned why are we here, what's going on, because I brought my girlfriend with me, and now I'm like responsible for this woman that I brought to Austin, and we're all riding on this dream. So it definitely was a crazy time for us. And that when he called me and we had that meeting, and he's like, bro, Food or Wine. I was like, what? Happiest. I would never forget that feeling, man. I was so happy for him, and because I know how hard he works, but also I was so happy for us because I knew that we were going to change.
But to make some money up here, get some word out there. And how quickly, right after you won that award and announced it, how quickly did it change?
So it's funny as we look back at it, right? It wasn't like that.
Okay.
And the beautiful part with it is, from when we opened to 9 months later, it was 10% a week. And so that, about 370%. That's a huge amount of growth in 1 year. And it took us from, really being in a rough scenario to paying off the restaurant in 2.75 years total, right? Which is, there's a huge pressure that's released at that point. Where, as an owner now, there's always a freedom, but I think that once you're not playing in the red and you're playing in the black, there's a different freedom that you give yourself to, where now we're like investing into farms, and we're like really like pushing other different envelopes of things, where like you're talking about with Puerto Rico, it's like, how do you show up for your community in more than an idea and things like that. So like when the freeze happened, like it was easy for us to say, here's how we're going to be there for people. Like when COVID happened, we were like, whoa, like we're keeping everyone, the bare minimum is insurance for people. We're keeping that. Like, we need to make sure that we have insurance for people. Because like it, we have no idea what's coming down the pipeline for any of us. But the one thing that we know is that we're in the middle of a health crisis. And we need that more.
100%. Were you, did you have a large return rate after you COVID?
Yeah, we did.
So, okay.
And we communicated with people a lot. And, we I don't know. I mean, we have a lot of longevity in a lot of our people, particularly in the kitchen, right? Where, like, if you look at our CDCs, with really the exception of Harvard here, although the two corporate team members helping them, they've all been with us for almost 4 or 5 years. The restaurant's only been open for 6 total. So the max that you can be at is 6. And so it's all like a lot of people with that first generation, second generation that have just been with us and stayed with us and continue to go up and up and up. And that means a lot to us.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why we do what we're doing, because we want to create for the people that come after us and also create opportunities for the people around us. Because just like the food system, where we realized that it was broken and we wanted to change the way we operated in it, it's the same thing with when we talk about the labor structure and things of that nature. We want to change what that means and how we operate as restaurant owners, and also people that are constantly pushing the envelope. How do we provide and create a system in which a line cook can actually have a life and make good money and have a career and not be like, well, if you're not a chef, you're screwed.
Yeah.
Those are the things that we are currently working on.
Yeah.
But we started that process a while ago.
Understood. So how long have you been working together total?
Yeah, a long time.
Yeah, right.
You know when you look up, it's a long time.
Yeah.
I think it's 12 years or so.
Yeah, 12 or 13 years.
Yeah. I mean, it's gone through a lot of iterations, too.
Yeah. Because we switched roles. And
I can remember, so we had like a corporate chef in the company, and I was the director of operations at the time. So I've worked in the front, and I've worked in the back.
Yeah.
And I was in Napa working at the laundry, and I got a call from Tavel, and I was not close with Tavel. I knew Tavel, but I was not close with Tavel at this time. And I can remember Tavel was like, I don't even want to get it wrong. You're like, hey man, I got something to talk to you about, and I just wanted to see if you got my back or something like that. And I was like, oh, it's like that, okay. He ended up having an issue with the person that was, the corporate chef at the time, who also was my best friend at the time, who was living with me and my wife, long story short, that all blew up. But
I just needed to know, like, hey, me and homie's not gonna be friends no more. I just want to know if we're good, because if we're not, then I'm good. I'll move on.
Yeah.
And he gave the right answer. He's like, yo, we here. I believe in you, and let's continue to push forward. And whatever decision it is, we'll deal with it. I'm on my way back.
Yeah.
So. That's, to me, that was our friendship, because we weren't even thinking business partners at that time.
No.
We were only talking like relationship.
Yeah.
And that meant a lot for me, because that was like, okay, I'm finally working in a space where somebody respects what I do and I respect what they do. There's this mutual respect, and we knew that if we, combined our forces, that there wasn't anything that was impossible for us. We could accomplish it all. And I think that was the first step in that bond with us moving forward.
Understood. I always talk about this a lot, and it's like, what success means, and when you have too much success or you become too big. Do you think there's such a thing as that? Or is there more restaurants that you want to open? When does it stop?
I'll take a crack at it, because for me, success is it's okay in simple forms for me, because it has a lot of meanings for me, right? Because there's the personal success, right? For me, when I'm able to create there's things that I want to do for my mom, for my family, for my kids. When I achieve those things, that's when I would consider myself a success, personally.
Yes.
Right? When my kids never have to worry about a job or anything like that.
Yeah.
When my mother never have to worry about not where anything is coming from. She has the things that she needs. Those are goals that I personally have, that I'm not going to stop until I accomplish those things. And I feel like when I'm able to take care of those people efficiently and consistently, that is success for me. As far as on a business level, success for me means when I can properly train or inspire someone to do what I'm doing, and they can carry on the legacy of which I started. That's success for me. When I see someone else that came up under me that becomes successful or possibly greater than I was, that's success. It's not, I don't think none of us own success. I think success is what you give.
Damn. That's, man.
Yeah, and it's interesting is I view it really different as well, which is what I think makes Tavel and I work really well together as partners is I don't feel successful. I would say that impact is what is I'm seeking out and want to do. Which, there is a next hill that you always come up to, right? So I think we take on these challenges and we're able to find success in whatever those things are, which is how to source in the way that we do and impact a community in that way, how to shift the dynamic in the relationship between front of house and back house and the pay rate of those things, which we have elevated, how to impact the structure of a lot of those things, how to take on sourcing and creating markets. But then the next level of this is, you're right. Like, how do you then have a larger impact without selling out? And why is it viewed in that way too?
Yeah.
Because the thing is, like, if it's only, we have a friend who had this amazing restaurant, it's 12-seat train car in San Antonio with 4 employees, sometimes 5. Really special experience, right?
Someone was mentioning that.
Recently, and never able to be replicated in that way, right? And so intimate and special. But the thing is, you can't blow that up to something bigger. And so, can you replicate 50 of those or 100 of those all throughout the United States for here's a great way to have a life?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And part of that is a success, is breeding these ideas within people that they're able to take. And hopefully, to me, that is what we want to do from this podcast is now maybe we're able to take care of our families, but more than that, the person that's listening to this has an idea, learns a way to do it, and they're able to take care of their families, or it gains this reputation or respect for what we're doing here. So the breadth of this and these hardships that we've learned along the way are things that people can take. And that movement and that impact is significantly bigger than any of these. And by proving that we can do it in this way, in Kanje's way, in Hestia's way, shows that for larger corporations, for landlords, for investors, that, you don't only have to buy from Cisco.
Yeah.
You can treat your people well. You can create this culture and this sort of thing. You don't have to be just like a Brinker or Chili's to be successful in this industry. And to me, we're not up against all these other chefs like down the street. Like for me, what they do is amazing. Go there. It's beautiful. We ain't in competition with them. We are in competition with people that have reaped from this industry for so long. And success to me in many ways will be when we defeat the standardization of food as a commodity as opposed to making it standard for the ethical reason behind that.
Gotcha.
And to do that, you have to meet people and understand like why peanut fields are the way that they are. Because you cannot make enough money growing 1 acre of peanuts and picking that up properly because you can't even afford the machine of what those sort of things are. There's just, it's a very complicated thing.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know, man, there's an imposter syndrome of all this all the time.
Yeah. 100%. 100%.
I feel very fortunate, and I was listening to a podcast the other day, and I think that this humility is a real part, but I've worked, and Tavel have worked for every bit of our success, and we wake up every day, and I get those phone calls at 2 a.m. I got to be up at 6 all the time still, right? That pressure stays with you. But somebody else, if they had been in my shoes, potentially could be even bigger. I happen to be in a lot of spaces where we're lucky. Same thing even for T. Like, as hard as he's worked, we've all been fortunate enough to be in that opportunity to get where we are. Mm-hmm. And there, out of 1,000 people, maybe another 100 of them would have been able to do the same things. A little different, I'm sure. But, I don't believe that we are unique in that scenario. And that humility, I think, allows me to look down and talk to, the dishwasher there who potentially may be the next big thing because they're just fighting for their chance. And, if you can break down, as what we were talking before, the classes of what it is and where you came from and where your education is, and you can just think about it as humanity and drive and effort, and recognize that the biggest difference between a very successful person or at least one trait that every single successful person has, it is persistence. They will not accept failure. They may fail many times, but every day they're going to wake up and they're going to get back on and they're going to continue to push. And a lot of people don't have that, but if you have that, if you know in your heart and your soul that you have that, then you will be successful, and you're the only one holding yourself back on it. Now, what do you want to give up for that is the thing, but that's what it takes to be successful.
Yeah.
Damn, chefs. Hell yeah, man. Sucio Talk, fucking taking over the world, baby. If you guys are out here in Austin, check out this beautiful restaurant. The 3 beautiful restaurants, correct?
3?
How many?
Six.
Six. Oh my God! I'm so sorry.